Hey everyone, this is Cheryl Kuchak with Sublimation for Beginners and Beyond Facebook group with Sprite Rose and David Gross. Hi guys, how are you?
Hey,
Hey
Cheryl.
guys, and we'll have some cameo appearances also. So, want
Cool,
to
love
let
it.
Sprite go first, and she's on some pressing deadlines to finish up for tomorrow.
Get it? Pressing deadlines.
You like that? Wow, I don't know if we've
I
ever
know,
had
We need a
a,
laugh
an
track.
audience.
a clapping track on here, and that is not pre-recorded.
That was
So.
live. That was live.
So we'll get to the things about open house in just a minute, but Sprite's going to go first. We have a very special surprise. We love introducing new products, and we have a new product that is in stock and shipping. We've worked
Woo.
at it some months ago, and of course, products have to be made and shipped and all that. And so, Sprite, tell us what our new surprise product is.
All right. So we've got a couple of them, but the first one that I'm going to talk about today is our new waffle towel.
That was
Woo.
pretty loud.
Can we
wasn't
try that again without the? So you just messed up my whole intro. All right, so we've got a brand new waffle towel, guys. We've got it in two different sizes. We have an 11 by 18, which is this size, and then we have a 16 by 20, which is the bigger size. These are, like David said, they are in our warehouse in stock, ready to be sold to you today.
Love it,
So
love it.
yeah, and they press beautifully because I've been doing a lot of testing on these towels, and what I found is a lot of times they don't hold the weave shape. A lot of times they discolor under the heat. And this is the first one that I found that not only gives you great image quality, but also holds the texture of the towel. Not to mention how incredibly absorbent these towels are. So I took them yesterday and wiped out one of the sinks, and it's almost like one of those ShamWow cloths. I mean, it's
Wow,
pretty good. And
neat.
this is 90% polyester and then 10% polyamide. So it's going to sublimate beautifully. So let's go ahead and do one. You do sublimate.
Lots, yeah, lots of wows, lots of hellos, woohoos.
Woo! So,
Yeah. So,
so we're going to do this at a little bit of a lower temperature. We're going to do this at 380 degrees for a minute and 30 seconds. So
a
I'm going to.
minute and 30 seconds, huh?
And these
Woohoo! So
instructions will be
cool.
posted. That I want to tell everybody while she's getting ready for that, a new way that is even easier to get our templates. And so if you place your orders online, as soon as the order shows up in your shopping cart that you placed the order, you can click on your order history, and at the far right of each line item is the link to download the template. So there's
Nice.
no wait, no hassle, no nothing. Just click on it and download the zip file for the template. So we're ultimately evolving PartnerNet to be something a little bit different. Big surprise coming, and you can still download the templates using your PartnerNet access, but we are moving really the quick access for the templates right to your shopping cart.
Very nice. Okay, so we have a lot of people saying they loved the open house. Love seeing you all at the open house. Hey everyone, great. Woohoo. Hi Cheryl, Sprite, David. Thanks so much for the awesome open house. Wow, love the sizes. But wait, there's more.
Yeah, so on the
um,
towels, we took a lot of time to find a material, find a weave, find a material that would sublimate well, um, and had good moisture properties, but it took a long time. Most of the towels that ultimately we had made for samples, they did not work. They weren't good under a bunch of reasons. So I think we've got a great product for for decorating. You know, we often just look past the amazing properties of sublimation, in that this is a product that would never fade. It has no feel to it because you're literally diffusing the dyes into the polyester. And so you've got an incredible product. I was looking at a product yesterday that was simply screen printed or transferred printed. And those kinds of things are certainly great products, and you certainly can do them. But you know, there's nothing like sublimation when it comes to the bright, vivid colors, the zero
Absolutely.
hand, and of course, it's never going to fade. That towel will, you know, 10, 20, 30 years, it's still going to look exactly the same. The towel may start falling apart because you've used it for so much, but just an amazing product.
Look at that.
Wow, very
I'm trying to see
nice.
if I can.
Yeah, I like
And
it.
they're of course quite inexpensive. And so, how much do you think a product
Wow.
like this would sell for, Sprite?
Uh,
Yay,
I don't.
Alice.
I don't know, David.
We've not done our.
I have not done my research on
I
these, and
think
I
we did the
apologize.
research some time ago.
What size is that?
This is an 11 by 18,
Okay. And do you
And
guys
then
have
we have
bigger
the,
and
sizes?
then we have the 16 by 25.
Okay,
Is it
great.
16 by? Is it 25? Okay, I can't remember.
So love it. Looks great.
Yep, 16 by 25. All right.
So that was what we want Sprite in here for. And I thank you, Sprite.
Thank you, Sprite. Talk to you soon.
All right. Yes, ma'am. I'm
And
gonna set this.
Set back to 400
Yep.
for 60 seconds.
Yes,
Fine.
sir. Gotcha.
okay, so I'm sorry, you guys did it at what temp?
380 for a minute and a half, as I recall.
That is
Okay,
correct.
okay.
Yeah.
380.
You know, and
okay.
I tried to do it at 400, and it just it wasn't as vibrant at 400. 380. That
Okay.
was kind of the sweet spot. So.
Okay, great.
Yeah, and remember thanks, Sprite, when you're testing your products, a good rule of thumb, and I look forward to sharing this kind of information at the Sublimation Summit, Cheryl. So that obviously was a big topic of excitement there. And is black is the last color to sublimate, so you need to dial that in, and then go a little bit longer than you need to because press is cycling temperature. But once you do that, document it and just keep doing it, and you've got it.
Yeah.
So generally, if you overcook something, black is going to turn brown. But on the other hand, if you're not getting a good black, sometimes it's not the heat press. Remember, there's three things in sublimation: the stuff we do at the computer, the stuff we do at the printer, and then the stuff we do at the heat press. And all three of those together are what affect that. So I had a lady the other day, we were trying to help her, and it turns out she was going to the store to buy her sublimation paper. And so we explained to her that there's probably something at the store that works, but sublimation paper is inexpensive and that. And so she finally got a hold of some sublimation paper. But I was suspicious from what she was saying that she had problems elsewhere. And ultimately, we finally nailed down that her press had gone cold, and that it wasn't the paper after all. That was her biggest issue, is because her press was no longer getting very hot. And she let us know. She says, it's just not hot. It doesn't feel hot. And so I think everybody ought to check their presses whenever they might think they have a problem. But as Cheryl has mentioned, there's really no substitute for a great press. I have one press story that I think, Cheryl, you'll enjoy hearing. So when I came back from lunch today, there was somebody in the parking lot that I recognized had been at open house. And I really don't know where they're from, but at any rate, they had a minivan kind of vehicle, and they had their back hatch open. Looked like they were traveling, had a lot of stuff in the van, and I instantly saw that they had a George Knight JP14. And I walked up and I said, "Is there anything I can help you with?" And he says, "Well, I think your folks are helping. I think my heat press is broke." And I said, "Okay." And it looked like it had some sort of mechanical failure. It was a JP14, which is really the inexpensive portable heat press. And I said, "Well, I'm very sorry to hear." I looked at it, and I said, "Well, let me ask you a question. How old is it?" I was just curious. And he said it was 15 years old. And that probably the main bolt that goes from where you turn the pressure knob down, that bolt had almost certainly broken. And I said, "Well, wow, for an inexpensive press, it's 15 years." He says, "Oh yes, we've used it every weekend at the flea market, 15 years." And I said, "Well, I bet Aaron at George Knight can get you a new bolt and tell you how to install it." And so even though they didn't spend much money on it, it's still a made in USA George Knight press that they're almost certainly going to have the parts to keep it going even after 15 years. And I doubt that you could say that for any Chinese made press.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. That's a great story. That really is. Well, I want to talk about the bundle. I'm going to be pressing part of the bundle for you guys, and I'm excited about that. David, are you going to be pressing something?
Yeah, you may go ahead and get that out of the way.
Well, if you want to, I mean, I
Yeah.
wanted to talk about the bundle because people,
Right.
I mean, literally, when I tell you that every other day we get a question about what's the bundle, what's the bundle, what's the bundle. So I have asked because they ran out of the bundle. I don't know what we were calling this bundle, but it's a linen bundle with and I'll just show you guys what's in the bundle. So we have the pretty bag, which is absolutely gorgeous. Then we have the little coin purse. We have a little makeup bag. We have the wallet. We have 3 of the compact mirrors, the different shapes, the round, the square, and the oval. No, actually, I'm sorry, it's a scalloped. And then we have some jewelry in here as well. We have several different pieces. Whoa. We have this. We have a chain. So I love this. I just love it. We have the square, and we have a little bit bigger square. And all for $25. Plus, I think it's $9.95 shipping if I'm not mistaken, right, David?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. And then we also have the chain. So it's really, really a great deal. And I am going to be pressing some for you guys. I'm excited. So David, if you wanna press, okay.
So first, I want to cover open house, and thank you, Cheryl, for being part of open house.
It was wonderful.
It was a hoot. And it started with our Friday night dinner, vendor dinner, where our guests like Cheryl and the vendors, and that was a lot of fun. And I think we had where we were was sort of open, and so we had we had a lot of the folks who attended the open house sort of figure out where we were at. So they came in and talked a little bit to us. So it was a beautiful night, beautiful evening.
It was. It really was.
And then, of course, we had great weather. We had tremendous attendance. I mean, overwhelming attendance. And of course, Cheryl, the price was right?
Exactly.
We paid people to come to the open house. So, what a recipe for great attendance when you pay people.
Yeah.
And so it's $50 if you attended open house. And we, of course, paid people on the web with our virtual open house of $30. And we extended that all the way through Wednesday. But
Well,
we
that's
had
kind of like the summit because we're going to have a goodie bag that's, that's going to be quite valuable. They get their breakfast, their lunch, all their drinks and snacks, and so kind of the same premise.
Kind of the same thing. So we just have to figure out how to make the summit even bigger and better.
Oh,
so,
yeah, for sure.
At any rate, the classes went well, and we're trying to get all the classes posted. Having a little bit of challenge there, but at any rate, things went really well. And I wanted to just quickly get Finch up here, and he could talk a little bit about because he was running the kiosk, and I just wanted him to share a little bit of some of the success stories that he heard at the kiosk, and what was sort of happening. It's on.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay,
you can. Okay, good.
So, Finch, you were running the kiosk, and I tell you what, I've never seen Finch under so much pressure from the crowd. It looked like almost we were at a rock concert and they were pushing forward.
Just like a sea of people, but it was really great. I talked to a lot of awesome clients and heard their ideas. One of the coolest ones that I heard was at a racetrack, at the drag strip with watching the race cars, and they had a photographer there. The photographer would take pictures of everybody's cars, and then they had a kiosk set up to where they could put a picture of your beautiful car on whatever you wanted. And she had a lot of success with that. So we told her about the kiosk, and she was sort of doing it, and she really enjoyed that. Another idea I heard was a gentleman. He was in the Army, and he had a kiosk set up, and he wanted to get one going so he could sell it to Army base. And I said, that's a great idea. And I gave him some good ideas to get started with that. And hopefully we'll hear back from him, see how he's doing. But open house was awesome. That was the busiest open house I've ever seen. I was just bombarded by people. But it was great. I got to talk to
and really nonstop. Really, I mean, even after like it was over, they were still there.
I know,
lined up.
It was great. I didn't have time to go get lunch.
Yeah,
some nice
closing time came and went.
It was so good. It was so good.
Yeah.
Seriously, I mean, everything and every part of it. And David, I personally loved the layout of how you had it set up because there was like something everywhere. So people were not on top of people. And I mean, I thought that worked out beautifully, because you had that back room. Boy, I'll tell you, that was hopping too with all the.
Yeah, we were making water bottles through the kiosk. We had a coloring station, and I just grabbed a few of the things from the coloring station, but there were just some beautiful designs that people came up with at the coloring station. Because I don't have a lot of art talent, so to speak, and so I'm just amazed when somebody sits down and creates a work of art, how beautiful it looks. And so, all right, thank you, Finch. Let's Victoria, you want to come up here just for a second? And we'll get her and her observations. I think the kiosk, I think, is one of those next steps in the sublimation world for people, meaning, go mobile. It could be events in your town. It could be out of town. But basically, you're taking your heat press and your printer to an area, to a location, so that you can produce products on demand. And, at first it does sound like, lot of work, but after you do it once or twice, you really, it's just not that hard to do. So Vic, thank you for being here with us today. What were some of the observations when you were speaking to people? What were some of the success stories that you could pass along to folks?
Well, I just want you to know she was my hero because she picked me up. She brought me some breakfast. She and so well, Finch did too. He drove us back. But anyway, thank you, Victoria, for that. It was wonderful. I had a great time hanging with you.
Yeah, so at the open house, I was mostly in charge of logistics in terms of checking to see if people like Finch needed new products more, since Finch was going through quite a bit of stuff. But mostly I talked to a lot of people, just hearing about mom and pop shops growing, getting storefronts and growing like that. So it was
That's
cool.
so awesome. That is so awesome. I mean, it was just really a great time overall. A lot of networking, you know, and of course there were a lot of people from my group that were there. That was probably for me the highlight of just meeting a lot of these people face to face. That was pretty incredible. You know, got to hang out with them, and that was fun.
Good deal. Yeah, we just, I learned so much from our clients on what's working for them, what's not working for them, what we need to do better, more of, and so it's a experience. I think so many products tend to go viral. You know, like for instance, this morning talked to my wife, and she said, you know, this video has gone viral overnight. It was some kind of baby talking, and the dad is talking to the baby, and suddenly, I think Denny's, you know, paid them to go into the Denny's restaurant where they're, you know, having breakfast, father, son kind of thing. And I think this the same way with Sublimation. If you get your name out there, if you get the products, if you're going to put in the time and effort to plant those seeds, then you can expect tremendous returns. You know, like the success, I heard so much about the sandstone car coasters over and over again, how well those are selling. Trying to think of some of the other just tremendous success stories. You know, but you know, again, you put the product out there, and make sure, of course, that whenever possible, that every product has a way for them to get back to you. It was about the air fresheners. You know, air fresheners being a relatively new product, of how successful that is. So, at any rate, there's no substitute for putting in the effort to plant those seeds. Well, thank you, Vic.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, Victoria, it was great hanging with you. I'm just telling you, you know, we're going to have to do that again.
So one of the big hits, Cheryl, at the open house was really I think the introduction, if you will, of the new EasySubli textured products. And I had been on, keep it turned on there, Vic. I had been on the team with Universal Woods to help develop the textured product, and it went through many iterations, I think, over the probably 2 years that it took to develop it. And so have a coaster, have a fridge magnet, another fridge magnet, or actually ID tag if you want it, and then some Christmas ornaments. And its texture, I know you had talked to your folks about it, but the texture is unique because you can feel it. So
is there a way for you to get up close? Because so Paul
I'm going
Newman
to
gave me
decorate
these.
them. I'm going to decorate them in just a second.
I was hoping that you would show us before they are decorated. See, you can't really tell. You can't really see that. That's what I was hoping, that they could maybe see the.
So here's I want to throw out 2 offers for you, and you'll just need to indicate, if you do it for online, indicate in the notes but indicate that if you place a $100 order, I'll give you a one of the small towels, and then also we'll give you one of the textured products. Cool. So pick which one you want,
and then just put Cheryl's group.
Well, you got to ask for it, but just say, it's Cheryl's group, but just ask for the towel and ask for the textured, because the only way you're going to sell the textured is to put it in your hand.
Yeah, I agree, because it is pretty. It is pretty awesome.
Oh, wow!
Yeah, he gave that to me.
That is beautiful. I didn't get to see that.
Oh, you're kidding me? Yeah. Well, I love this too, David. I mean, I love this. I totally see that.
That's very nice.
I mean, really, really nice. And here's the ornament. And it's hard to tell that it's textured, but if you can, I'm not sure if they can see it, but man, is it beautiful. And then here's another one.
Absolutely is beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely. So I asked him if I could have one at the end of the show, and he ended up giving them all. I'm like, I'll take them. Thank you. That was great. Yeah, so they're saying love them.
So I'm going to press them here.
And they're saying thank you for, giving them that for, but I'm going to press as well.
Is the only way you're going to sell it is for you to be sold on the product yourself. It just isn't going to do any good. And so let me go ahead and tape these down, and we'll press them. But again, you might ask, well, what was the rationale behind the texture? And it's very simple. The rationale was to mimic canvas, and I think this product has gone past mimicking canvas and is now a unique product to itself. And so really, really like it. So I'm just going to press these two things, and you'll get the idea. But you'll do them with the substrate face up, with the transfer face down, and of course our paper on top and bottom. Minute 30, something like that. Did you answer your mother's text?
Unknown caller.
Again, these are in stock, so there's just a handful of ones. I think the Benelux ornament with a red ribbon is U4839. The circle ornament is 4840. The square magnet 4841. The rectangular magnet is U4842, and then the square coaster is U4843. Probably at some point we'll ask for a car coaster made out of this material, and see how that goes. So just really, really exciting times.
That is for sure. Okay, so, and I'm going to be pressing too. So I want to get over here. I just want to make sure that they can see me, and they can. Okay, so. Okay, Luann, we will get that for you. They're asking what the code number is for the textured items, David.
All right. We'll get it posted.
Okay.
But they're U4839, which is the Benelux. U4840 is the circle ornament. U4841 is the square magnet. U4842 is a rectangular magnet, and U4843 is the square coaster. And this is all made of hardboard with the brand new Unisub textured coating. So let's see.
Yep.
Probably not a great angle that really shows you the texture of it. It's hard to see.
Yeah. Can't
Anyway.
see it. Okay.
Yeah,
so
and that's why everybody needs to get one of these in their hands.
They said pretty.
And then you can understand the beauty of it.
Okay.
So my offers for folks is if you place an order $100 or more, just simply add in the comments or tell your Condi rep that you want the small towel and that you want the one of these 5 textured hardboard Unisub products. You get one, pick one, whichever one you want, in the towel.
Okay, so now I'm going to press, and I realize that you can't see it, David, but they can, because for whatever reason you can't see the huddle cam, but they can. So I am going to press. The first thing I'll press will be the compact mirror. So I'm going to be doing this. Let's make sure that you guys can see that. Okay. So, and as you guys all know, I created this pattern that I'm in love with, and I could use it on almost anything and everything. So I'm actually going to use this pattern to do just the whole, kind of a whole kit, if you will. So, all right, the first thing I'm going to do is spray it. I just want to make sure. Okay. I am also going to, all right, and I want to place it, okay, so, all right, here we go. And because it gets hot, I will put my gloves on. And David, you're just going to have to look at a chair, I guess. But it's okay. It'll work. But I'm going to try something with this bag. So I want to see if I can get the edge of it. So I'll show you what I'm going to do here in just a moment.
Should be able to. Should be able to.
Yeah. I should. All right, I'm pressing this little, I didn't look it up, but whatever. I'm doing it for probably 60 seconds. Yeah, that's what I'll do. Really does come out really nice. I mean, these things they come out beautiful usually. Oh, and it did. So, and you guys will be so shocked, right? You'll be shocked at the pattern. Okay.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. I'm going to do the whole little kit. I mean, just again, because I just love this pattern. So, I'm going to spray both sides of this. David, don't look. That's all I can say. Don't look. Now, of course, we need to make sure that we do our roly-poly here. So, the reason that I said, David, don't look, is because of how I'm going to do it. I got to tell you something. I love my DK20S. I don't know how I lived my life without it. I am so serious.
Yeah, it's an amazing press, that's for sure. Certainly, yeah. I think the best press that you can buy.
Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to press it on one side, and then I'm going to press it on the other side. So of course I'm using my parchment paper if I can get it. Oops. Okay. So here we go. Oh, I don't like that it popped up like that. All right, now I have not pressed it with the metal piece, so we'll see. But I'm gonna do it. All right, here we go. All right. So we're gonna press it for 1 minute, and then I'm going to do the wallet. I'm gonna have a matching wallet.
Cool.
And the little keychain. I mean, the little coin purse. So we're gonna just have ourselves some fun. So what do you guys think? Okay, Cheryl. Okay. Let's see. Cheryl, we can't see the pattern. Okay, I'm going to show the whole thing. The bundles sounds awesome. It is awesome. Okay, so let's see. Cheryl, can you put it up against the other camera? We could not see it. I will, as soon as I'm done with the whole thing, I'll show you guys. So David, if you want to just talk for a bit, I'm just showing them.
So I was gonna talk a little bit. So this is one of the most recent times I've pressed the new textured product. And
okay, let me just tell them. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to flip it over. I'm going to flip it over without looking at it, and I'm going to press it again. Okay, and hope that it comes out gorgeous. Okay. All right, David. Oh,
so I was going to say that one thing you want to do anytime you press something new is look at the transfer after you press it. And again, that will guide you as to how things went. So I have in my hand the textured coaster transfer.
Oh, yeah, so bring that over.
And so I just want to share a couple of observations with it. So number one observation is, to me, it looks like too much ink is left on the transfer.
Okay.
So, and so I think the texture probably requires a little bit more time than your standard, the standard hardboard, glossy coaster. So that's the first observation. It just looks like that. Number two observation, and it's a little hard to see, and I don't know why the camera has gone blue all at once, but you can't really see it. But up in this corner right here, you see what we call a little blowout, and a little blowout typically is caused by not drying the transfer completely. So what I should have done is I should have pushed the transfers underneath the press for 5 or 10 seconds without closing it and dried the transfer, because I do have some signs on here of a little bit of wet ink. And so, oh, nice.
Oh my God, it came out gorgeous. Ah, I love it. Oh my God, I hope you guys can see how beautiful this thing came out. Amazing. Ah, I love it. And I'm using it. I'm keeping it. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Wow. So amazing.
Good job.
Yeah, this is like, wow.
So how much would something like that sell for?
Personally, because I'm going to do an entire set, I would easily, well, I'd have to think about it, but I would probably do it for $50. I really would, because it's a whole set. Okay, oh my God, that's my favorite pattern. Oh my gosh, mine too. Like, seriously, I am like, it's amazing how beautiful it came out. So, Oh, I was a little worried that, okay, look at how beautiful that came out. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now I'm going to do the wallet, and I'm also going to do I mean, this just is awesome. I love it. Okay, so David, if you want to continue to talk to
Yeah,
them. Okay,
I
so
want to talk about one of the things that is certainly we're easing into in our sublimation world. So there's a concept, we may have talked a little bit about it before, called Kaizen. And Kaizen is a term that's now used in manufacturing quite a bit. It has its origins in Japan. When after World War II, the automakers in Japan were sort of rebuilding from scratch, and a guy named Deming went to Japan essentially to help the Japanese rebuild. And of course, we as Paul Harvey would say, if you're old enough to remember, and that's the rest of the story. The Japanese, of course, were very successful at building fantastic, high quality cars that ultimately we in the United States had to catch up to. And the concept that they asked their employees to come to the office and come to the factory with was very simple. Um, make small improvements every day. And those small improvements every day are called the Kaizen process. And so that's what we're supposed to do, period. We're supposed to always try to improve things. It could be how you could sell products for more money. It could how you can make things that have better color. Um, learn to put your name on the back of products. But it could be
that's
thousands of
really,
different
yeah,
things.
that's a really important one too, David.
Yeah, it could be thousands of different things. Learning to do bundles, using a mug box with a mug, but there's all sorts of things. And so, in the sublimation paper area, there really hasn't been much change. It's pretty much stayed the same for many years. And that is, we have two papers for sublimation. One is our Dytrans SPP, which is an amazingly good hard substrate paper. And then the Beaver text print, in the case of the Ricoh Sawgrass printers, the R version. And that's a great paper for soft substrates, for slate, and the papers are to an extent interchangeable. Well, the company that invented sublimation paper is in the Netherlands, and their name is Koldenhof. And their famous paper goes by the brand name Jetcol, and Jetcol. And their papers are world famous, especially on the large printers. And I have worked with them for probably 3 years, seems like, on coming out with a desktop paper. And the desktop paper is finally here. It's called Jetcol DHS. And it is likely, with time, to really become my favorite desktop paper, the go-to desktop paper, essentially for everything.
Really?
And what Koldenhof did that made them so famous, first of all, they were the first, they invented it. But what they did is they figured out a way to keep the ink from going much into the paper, to keep it from being wicked into the paper, such that when you pressed it, more of the ink came out, and you received even greater saturation of your substrates without having to use more ink. And so, in theory, on the big printers that will use these papers, we'll actually be able to throttle back and use less ink and still make an acceptable transfer. On the desktop printers, you simply get brighter colors. And so the paper is Kaizen in that it simply does everything a little bit better. And so at the kiosk, we started running the Jetcol paper throughout the entire day, and I think the results were very impressive. So this paper is now in stock, called Jetcol DHS, and I recommend you check it out.
That's
You know,
cool.
it makes mugs a little bit better. It makes Unisub a little bit better. It makes everything a little bit better. So definitely an exciting new paper for us when we haven't had any new papers in a long time.
Okay, so let's see. So we have some questions here. Okay. All right, so they're saying, "Oh my God, that's my favorite pattern." Show that again. Okay. Show it closer. I saw that. Oh. Sorry. Let's get that puppy off of there. Came out gorgeous. Oh my gosh. Okay, so hold on. Let me just finish this. Okay, and then it says, "Where did you get the heat gloves?" To be honest with you, you know what? I don't really remember. So
I know Sprite just goes up to Lowe's and gets, leather gloves.
These are my favorite gloves. These are, and the reason that I love these gloves, and I got 2 pairs of them, but a little bit differently. So the reason I love them is because they're thin, and they really work. So here is my is it hard to see? Let's see.
Pretty pattern.
Yeah. So here's here's my makeup bag, and now I will show you my matching. I love that so much. Okay, so here's it's a little hot, but there's the little matching. And if you notice, and you probably didn't notice, but I scaled it down some so that you can tell. Let's see. So I scaled it down. Okay, so now I'm going to do the wallet. And, we're going to have matching. Ouch. It's hot. Hot. How pretty is that? I mean, look at that. How beautiful is that? Just as a, yeah, and have a matching mirror and, yeah, love. Yes, okay, so, and now we're going to do the wallet. And why not? Okay, so I just need to make sure. Okay, so were you guys able to see? Okay, Cheryl, I'm going to teach you. I just saw you.
Send an email to sales folks. Let them know they can have one of the textured products and the towel for an order over $100.
Karen Cox just said, "Cheryl, I'm going to teach you sometime. I just saw you lift the press handle in one pull up. Ask David, lift to unlock and then lift to open." Did you hear that, David?
No, go ahead.
Okay, she said, "I'm going to teach you something. Ask David, lift to unlock and then lift to open the heat press."
I'm going to close it. She's asking me to lift.
Okay, no, so she's saying, yes, so she's saying like, because I just lifted it up, so she's saying first lift it and then like unlock it and then lift it. So okay. I just did it in one, quick swoop there. So
here's take this. This is got it on here. They'll put it in it's for Cheryl's group.
Okay, so now, okay. All right, so now I'm going to, of course, do the lint roller. And I'm putting this on. Yeah, so I'm going to put this on the edge of the heat press with my design. And then I'm going to press it for 60 seconds. I'm sorry, for 50 seconds. This is on the wallet. So.
Yeah, we often take for granted that as we're talking to folks that are new to sublimation, they may not understand what I would call the essentials of sublimation, and things like heat gloves,
Yes,
sublimation heat tape, um, a Nomex pad, a green rubber pad, a few other things are very helpful, and I would consider them to be necessary accessories for sublimation. Probably the most important accessory is the cover paper, and really it's just cheap paper available at Sam's Club, Office Supply Club. Get your roll of it. Yes, you can use plain copy paper if you wish. So that heat tape, Pro Spray is very important. Pro Spray and heat tape are used to hold the substrate to the transfer paper so that when you open the press, things don't move. And then remembering to dry your transfer. I think that's becoming more and more important for some reason. And also, keeping things clean, keeping things organized where they are. Jimmy Lamb and I did a webinar some time ago where we talked about your sublimation setup, and we had an incredible number of folks like yourself that, oh, how beautiful is that?
So got a whole set, guys. Got a whole set. So, wow. So I mean, seriously, it's like just this whole beautiful set. I'm so excited.
Sublimation come a long ways, hasn't it?
It really has. I mean, and it really has in the last 5-6 years. It has. I mean, it's just leaps and bounds. So this bundle, you guys, is really an awesome buy. It's $25 for $9.95, and I'll give you the number. It is KFBG 19606. Let me say that again. In fact, I'll just put it in the notes for you guys. Yeah. So that you
I was looking outside. We got just a bunch of people here at Condi today. An overwhelming crowd outside for some reason, almost like they brought in a big bus or something.
So really?
Yeah, there's just overwhelming number of people out there.
Just hanging out, wanting to be with Condi, huh?
I don't know. I don't know. So again, going through just the essentials, cover paper, heat tape, Pro Spray. But I would say the number one tip for people, and is something that I'm going to reiterate at the Sublimation Summit, is to document. Document what we're talking about. Document what you like, what you don't like. Document your successes, your failures, your questions. And you can't do like other people do when they make a mistake. They just want to forget it, pretend like it never happened, or just do it over again and expect different results. So sublimation is a matter of perfection. I had a guy show up at the open house, and he was saying that he had perfected using his laser, and he talked about how many mistakes he made and how big the box had to be for him to put his mistakes in. And he said just over time, the box got smaller to the point where no mistakes.
Okay, so they want to see this. And you know what, David? I think that, I'm just thinking maybe I should give this away.
Okay.
I don't know. What do y'all think? See, I can't tell where the camera. Okay, there it is. So there's the wallet. I love. And then here's the coin purse. Now, can you see it now, David? Can you see what
Yes,
Okay, you
it's
can.
beautiful.
Okay. And then, okay, so, and then here, oh, but I love this. I love this so much. I really want that. And then, um, and then the makeup bag. Look at that, you guys. How awesome is that? I love it. I mean, this thing is just beautiful. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. This, I mean, it sublimates so gorgeous. It's an unbelievable product. It really is. Just like, wow. And this wallet just came out so beautiful. Look at that, guys. I mean, it's like, wow, wow, wow. I just dropped the other. Okay. So there you have it again. Love, love, love.
Very good. Good job, Cheryl.
Okay, so let's talk really quick, David. I know we're a little over time, but let's talk really quick about a couple of things. Now that we're finished pressing, let's talk about, I want to talk about EasySubli, and I also want to talk about, I was actually going to do a live show today, which I didn't, but maybe I will tomorrow, talking about EasySubli versus an oaky or an eye color. I think that's a really, really important topic because I'm getting tons of questions about it. I want to talk about that. I was impressed with the EasySubli. I really was. I'm not a huge fan of vinyl, so when I got the vinyl, I was really surprised at how soft it was. But then, so this was, so I pressed this for like, yeah,
Nice.
right? So I pressed this for like 5 seconds, and then I took off the transfer paper, and then I pressed the transfer onto it. And look at how beautiful that came out. So
say again how you did it.
okay, so I took the transfer and I laid it on there with the transfer tape, and I pressed it for 5 seconds just to, make sure that the vinyl was on the shirt. Then I took the transfer
no
paper.
sublimation at that point. You just
That's
tacked
right.
it.
Right, exactly. And then I laid the transfer on top of it, and I pulled it off. And
how long did you press the transfer?
It was 365 for 365 for 15 seconds, I think. No, that was the other one.
Yeah,
it was 365 for
press,
for 60 seconds. It was actually for 60
we would
seconds.
press normal,
Yeah. So then this was the transfer that was made with this the EasySubli ink, and it came out pretty nice. I mean, it did. I don't think it's as vibrant as the other one. I mean, when I look at it, I don't think it is. But what I don't like is, it is a plastic feel when it comes to a full, a full piece. It's like, so this is where I think the eye color or the oaky would come in, because you can use the Pro Rip, you can use the Transfer Rip, you can mask it, you can rasterize it, and you're going to have a whole different feel. So, but again, I was very impressed with this. Okay, did something happen? David, you're there, but I'm not sure that you're there. Hold on a second. I just lost him. David, can you hear me? Guys, I don't know what happened. We were going along just fine. Let's see if he reconnects with us. It is kind of late. I don't know what happened. Okay. Anyway, so you guys are with me. So I just want to continue. David got zapped. I know. I don't know what happened. There's a lot of technical difficulties sometimes with them. Maybe that bus of people came and got him. Well, he was here, and then it was, he said, he could hear me. So I'll text him and ask him what happened. Yeah, okay. He just told me he lost signal. Okay, I'm going to see if he can come back on. Well, that's true, Barb. It could be zombies. You just never know. I mean, it was like, Oh, you guys, I'm in love with this thing. I have to tell you, it's like crazy good. All right, he's going to see if he can come back on. It might be a challenge. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. He's going to try. Yeah, that was just weird. Like he was here and then he was gone. David. Okay, so let's see. So Jennifer, what I'm talking about is that this one of the sales guys mentioned to me it has something to do with the building they are in and what it was used for previously, the walls. Oh, really? Well, that's interesting. That could definitely be. Well, let's see. I know he had to get out early too, so because I think they're going to they're going out tonight, I think. I understand. Okay, yeah, he's trying. He said he's trying. Okay, it's good. Really, Barb? Wow. That had to be interesting. Well, it's interesting because, they are really the only ones that I really have a problem with. Everybody else, you guys, I love this thing. I just have to tell you. I mean, I just love it. Would it be okay if I kept this one? I love it so much. Love, love, love. Okay, so he's messaging me. Oh, there he goes. Oh, I just saw him, but did I actually see him? It looked like he came on and then it went somewhere. Okay, so we're probably, let's see if I can get him. Oh wait, it's right here. That's weird. Wow, that's not David. That's okay. Let's see if I can get him. No, it's saying it's waiting. All right, I'm going to cancel it and see if, well, that's a bummer. Okay, well, you know what? We'll just have to resume, I guess. I might do one tomorrow with him because I want to talk about some other things like the summit and anyway. So all right, you guys, we're gonna call it a day. It's 5:15 here. It's wonderful. You guys are awesome sauce. Oh, let's see if that's David. Let's see. Is it? I'm getting messaged. No, it's not. Okay. So, all right, you guys, I'm gonna sign off until the next video. But you guys have a great night. Ideas. Okay, he's asking me for ideas. See, he wants to get back on. Let me send him a new link if I can. I don't think it's going to work. I'll disconnect it and reconnect it. How about that? Yeah, it's not liking it. It's not liking it. So, oh, there we go. Okay, let's do it. Okay, I just sent it. Okay, let's see. Well, there we have it. Okay, so let's get you in here, David. Okay, now if we have sound. Okay, there you are. Okay, so I can't hardly hear you though. Yeah, a little bit louder. I don't know if we lost our audience. We'll see. But that's okay. They can get it on the rerun if they need to. Oh, there you are, David.
All right.
Okay. Okay, so not every okay, woohoo, we got David back, you guys. So thanks for hanging in with us. That's awesome.
All right.
Okay.
Okay. So we were talking about the EasySubli, and the point is that I think there's good news is that we're very confident that if you have a sublimation printer, and I really don't care what you have, that you can get excellent results from the Caesar Subli, EasySubli product with traditional transfer technique. No hocus pocus, nothing special. Now the question is, how does it compare with the Okies and the other Oki-like products? And I would say that again, it's a different league. And I know you have a very unique perspective because you're an expert at both. So go ahead.
Well, I mean, the truth of the matter is that, when you learn how to operate an Oki, you know, let me back up and just say this. It's not about the printer. It's not about an Oki. It's not about an eye color. It's really about the paper. And when you master the papers, that you're going to love it because it's for the money, for what you pay for, what you can produce, you will love it. And that's really the bottom line. Now, if you do vinyl and you want to do something like this, like a name, I'm going to tell you, it's, yeah, definitely. It's awesome. You don't have to have layers and layers and layers, which is awesome. So, I mean, you would not be able to do that with just, unless you bought the vinyl like that. So now you can, and it's pretty awesome. But again, when I'm going to take a full sheet like that, no, I don't think I would do that. I think I would do an eye color or an Oki, and I would do, and let me say this too, that there are new papers coming to the market all the time for these laser printers that really are, they're pretty awesome. I know that there's one that stretches really nicely, and it actually reminded me of this. It reminded me of, somebody asked me today, they were asking me, what I thought about this in terms of, knowing that I have both, I have those printers, and I'm like, this has got a nice feel to it. It really does. It's not real heavy if it's just like a name, but to have it as a full shirt, I don't think I would do it. It's just, it's like vinyl. So it is vinyl. So, that's the deal. I want to make sure I don't miss questions here if somebody wants to ask a question on it, because there were so many people talking about it.
Yeah, we're going to start doing our videos tomorrow on the product and really breaking things down. But the bottom line is
I've already told people that, and they're not going to want to miss that show. They're definitely not going to want
traditional kind of vinyl kinds of things. I think it's a fantastic product, but
yeah,
it's like saying vinyl versus screen printing. There's a gap there.
Well, and it's like, laser printer versus DTG, you're talking about a whole different level here, financially. And the thing is that, maybe what a DTG can do that a laser can't do, but you're talking twice the price. So I personally think that there is a place for both. And, I don't want to weed anymore. Hasn't been my world in a very long time. So it's just not something I want to do, but I can see the value in it. I definitely can see. And I think for people who have both, who are still doing vinyl and this, they're going to love it. They're going to absolutely love it. With it, with the SG400, forget it. They're going to love it. Or 800. You guys are going to love it. It's just really, it's awesome.
So,
Seriously awesome.
It's our job to some extent here in education mode is to go through how these technologies compare with each other.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, I'm gonna grab my sublimation printer, and that'll be the first thing that I grab and run out the door when the place is on fire. We're taking sublimation with us. That's the go-to. But the Oki and its competitors definitely has its place with those short-run jobs that normally would be associated with screen printing, and so it's something that pretty much every screen printer should have. And whether you buy a laser, an Oki, or you buy a direct garment printer, is now that's gets into an opinion. I
Right,
believe
right.
that Okies and its competitors are far better value than
No doubt.
DTG printers.
And I would agree with you on that. And so
And
here's the question.
that's being sort of kind to DTG printers.
Okay, so David is saying we don't have to have a separate machine for the Subli.
Absolutely correct. Do not go out and spend your hard-earned money on a new sublimation printer thinking that that's what you need. And I've got to somehow break it to, I guess, the Caesar people and the Sawgrass people that, of course, are sort of saying otherwise. But I can tell you traditional sublimation techniques work fantastic on the Caesar EasySubli vinyl.
Yeah, well, what I haven't done, but you know, Sprite is doing it. I certainly would do it. I certainly would try it. I have not printed directly onto it with my 400, but I'm going to leave that to Sprite to show you guys tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
So our goal would be to give you something that you can do today with it that works exceptionally well. And then when we got that tent in the ground, we're going to try to move to direct print, because direct print in theory is a little bit easier. And if we can achieve excellent results with direct print with traditional sublimation printers, not having to buy anything new, just use what you have, then we will document that technique, how we do it. And then there are going to be a few people out there that don't have a sublimation printer, and they say, well, I'm just going to go out and buy the Sawgrass SG400 R800 with the EasySubli ink, and that's great if you want to do it. But I would tell you that I would lean towards using the traditional Sublijet HD inks, the Sublijet inks for the Ricos, and if you have an Epson, using that. Obviously, I'm a fan of the Sawgrass printers. So, but you know, at this point,
there have been people stating that, David, that they've used their Epson and gotten great results with it. So Kim says I printed directly with my SG 800 and it worked great. So, you know what I don't know, and again, I'll wait to see what Sprite shows tomorrow. But I think that, you know, printing directly to the vinyl, I just personally think that it's the bottom line is you got to do the same thing anyway. So whether you, to me, it's a hassle to print it that way. So if I'm going to print it on the vinyl, then I got to cut it out. I got to cut whatever that is out. Then I got to put it on my t-shirt or whatever.
And I agree, but my knowledge base, I'm not a vinyl person. I don't have that DNA, but just from a pure physics point of view, the only cut sheet size is basically letter. It's 8.4 by 11.
Right.
So
right.
If you're doing anything bigger than that, you got to buy the roll, and you're not going to easily cram the roll in the printer.
Right.
You know, so you got to cut it. You've got to create a custom paper size for whatever size you're cramming in there. And so I think it's just inherently inefficient to cram it in the printer.
Okay, so here's the downside to, so here's the upside of printing directly. I'm just going to go through this. So the upside of printing directly to the vinyl and then printing it and cutting it, the upside is, first off, you have to let it dry. You're going to have to let it dry. You're going to have to let it dry. So you got to let it dry or it's going to smear. So that's one thing. But you can cut it out and now you have your design. You just use the masking and you put it on. versus if you have you want to put it on a blue shirt, we'll say, or a red shirt, and your that design is, even though it's cotton, it's going to sublimate some on that will obviously wash out, but it's going to be there. So it's not like you could take that and sell it like that. So that's the downside to it. But if it's a black shirt like I did, you could do that all day long, which a lot of people want black. So she says it would be worth it for one-off personalized shirts, not mass production, and I agree with that too. I don't see this as being.
I'll say one other thing that I'm curious. So I've spent a lot of time. We've never talked about it on this show, but there is another form of sublimation. It's direct print sublimation. It's where you print onto fabrics that have an inkjet receptive coating on it. You load the fabrics in the printer and you print. It has its success in a couple of narrow markets, but it's not widespread. There are printers that have built-in heaters in them. You can run them directly into a calendar press. So there's all that out there. But bottom line is when you put ink onto fabric directly, not all that ink sublimates, and ultimately you have to wash the fabric to get rid of the excess ink. So I have a feeling that if you direct print the vinyl and hit it with heat, there is some amount of ink that didn't sublimate on the vinyl that ultimately, if you don't wash that, it's gonna come out and potentially stain something. So, and I don't know that to be a fact with the vinyl, but I would believe it to be true. So, bottom line, with hybrid sublimation, which is what we do today, print on paper, then press. I think it's a very proven and efficient process.
Yeah, right now I would say the downside is if you're pressing on a different color than black or something really dark, that you're going to have to either cut that design out along with your image and then try to mirror that together.
And that's what we've been doing here. That's exactly what we've been doing. We've been putting the paper in the cutter because all we do is flip it and then cut. And you've got your transfer. It's trivial to line up, and you just press. So, you got to have a cutter. You got to cut out the vinyl.
But that's two steps. Well, that's at least one step more than. It doesn't make a lot of sense to me if you're going to do it like that. Printing directly onto the vinyl obviously would be a win if it works, if it doesn't bleed, if it doesn't do all those things. Obviously, that would be the win. But we'll see. I don't have that vinyl to be able to. Maybe I'll get some from Condi and you guys can send it. But
I think in the physics of this, I think there's still some things that are just new to me, and that is using your vinyl efficiently. You're not going to run a scrap piece of vinyl through your printer.
That's true too.
And if you try to do that, bad things happen. You easily could have a print head catch on the vinyl, and you could scratch your print head, and the print head is toast. So they're just following through all this logically. I think I would let other people be on the bleeding edge at this point.
Right, absolutely.
Improve these techniques before you go out and start doing this. Because if you feed a piece of vinyl without a custom paper size, you're going to get an error.
Yeah. Well, and that's a really good point too. It is. I can't hear you, David. Something
Okay.
happened. Oh, there you are. Yeah. Okay. Your sound cut out.
Yeah,
For a
I
second.
actually stopped talking for a change.
Okay, so let's talk about really quickly. Let's talk about the Sublimation Summit, because obviously that's exciting news.
I'm not sure technically we can talk about it quickly. There seems to be a little bit of a conflict there. But
Yeah,
bottom
true.
line is, if you want to advance your career in sublimation, if you want to sharpen your skills, if you want to learn by networking with others, then ultimately be there.
Yeah, for sure. It's going to be, it is going to be a game changer in the industry. There's no two ways about it. That is definitely going to be something. Okay, so somebody just walked in front. Who is that?
It was Chris Knight.
Oh, Chris, tell him I said hello. Hey, Chris.
Hey,
How are you?
I'm fine.
Oh, that's
Can you
good.
see me?
I was just wondering. Well, I can see. Yeah, we can see your hand and stuff. Yeah, it's definitely there. Now we can definitely see you, Chris.
So going back to the summit,
And
I
and you
think,
never got back to my email. I emailed you back from emailing me, and you didn't email me back. So
I
hey,
will email you back. I'm sorry. I've been kind of swamped creating new products.
okay, well, good for you.
We've got solo cup huggers now and our speech bubbles.
Really?
Well, I mean, they're kind of, low hanging fruit, but we got them done today. So
yeah, Chris
Oh,
really should.
you
I
are.
like to talk about a product when it's in stock, and some things it takes years, some things it takes days, some things it
Low
takes
hanging fruit.
hours. So, but there's a lot of great new products. And I think the Sublimation Summit will allow people to touch and feel products,
Yes.
see new stuff.
And you guys are going to bring a lot of new products to the summit.
I have a feeling that'll be sort of on the little checklist. Bring new products.
the rustic cut hardboard was a big hit at the open house.
It was.
Yeah,
People really
beautiful.
like
Absolutely
Yeah.
beautiful. Really.
There
was
just
just
some neat.
One of my favorite conversations. Let's hear it. She says, Janice says, yay, summit. One of my favorite conversations. Let's hear it. Well, so David, do I have your
Bye.
Take care, Chris.
Bye, Chris. Do I have your commitment here on live show here that you're gonna do Thursday? You're gonna do something on Thursday.
You mean at the
summit?
Well,
Yeah.
you mean like teach a class? Is that what you mean?
Yeah, that's what I mean.
I'm going there to teach, so certainly,
Right.
I just need to.
Well,
you've given me some suggestions.
It's the extra day, it's the extra day. So I'm going to have Photoshop and Roger and you, and just for the people who are coming in early that, they are extra hungry. They want that extra.
This is 2 days or 3
stuff.
days? Huh?
Well, it's just a little extra freebie. It's so ultimately it ends up being just like an extra class. It's 3 days, David, kind of, sort of. It's 2 days.
Let me absorb that, because this is a little bit new for me, and us engineers like to think about things. So.
Well, I shared it with you before. You just didn't. Much like my husband, you just tuned me out.
Just ask my wife.
I know how men are. So what can I say? Okay, well, put that in your whatever. So I'm sure you're gonna do it. I'm. You're so natural. It's just getting there. What time it would be. So. Yes, write that down. Okay. Okay, so David's diplomatic. David got photobombed. Yes, he did. Anyway, so we have a lot of cool speakers coming. We have some everything from how to get started. One of the classes that I've asked David to teach, and I'm gonna just put it out here because this is really part of what I believe is desperately needed in our industry, and I really want to do it. And I will do it if nobody else will do it. I'll do it, and that is take an SG 400 or 800 from the very, right out of the box, set it up, put in the inks, show everything from A to Z on printing, pressing, setting it up, how you set it up, how you get it registered, and then actually print and press. And I just feel like so many people have left it in the box and have never taken it out. And, it's 6 months, 9 months, and, it's still in the box. And to me, I want to take the intimidation factor out of that. So that's a vision of mine to be able to.
Yeah, I got to figure out how to do that over and over again.
Yeah,
but right. With one printer. So.
David, we are giving away 2 printers. I mean, and maybe we can use those 2 printers because it would only be 2 classes.
I think it's a great idea. Great idea.
So Janice says it's like our wine, just a teaser. Laugh out loud. It is. I tell you. Okay, I will be there for Thursday. Super cool. Yeah, it is pretty awesome. People are really excited about it, and we haven't even really gone public with it yet. So it's really pretty awesome. And I plan on having everybody like you and Johnson Plastics and Coastal take it public on Monday. So
good deal.
What do you think about that, David?
I think that's good.
I just think that you had an ADD moment. Somebody came by and, did a little bling. Is that right? Is that what happened? I said, I think you just had an ADD moment where somebody came by with a little bling or waved at you.
I opened the door because there's so many people here at Condi for whatever reason. I'm not sure. I'm after this, that's the first thing I'm going to do is find out, because there's just, it's not up to the level of open house, but they're just, and yes, my bad case of ADD takes over.
Well, yeah, I understand. Okay, so Thank You will give away a ticket or 2. So then, okay, Thank You will give away. We're hoping to be able. I'm hoping to be able to find a couple of the vendors that will sponsor an attendee coming. So it's $2.99, and I'm gonna send out an email to the vendors to see.
Is that sort of like sending a kid to camp? Is that?
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
Get them a little backpack and send them off to Sublimation camp.
Yes, I love it. That's right. That would be awesome, right? So I would love to do that.
So they got their little knapsack, and they come back and they go, "What'd you do at camp?" Played with turtles and coasters and buggers and
Right. I really need to put that in the email. Would you please send a few people to Sublimation camp? And Lisa says she's a kid at heart. I want to go to camp. So these people really want to go.
I want to go to this summer. I wanted to go to space camp in Huntsville. That's what I want to do.
Wow. So, you want to?
Yeah, they have that for kids. Even teachers get to go, and I think that'd be really cool.
To go up in space.
Well, they don't put you up in space, but they pretend like they put you up in space.
Okay.
So,
okay.
But space camp in Huntsville.
That would be cool. Michelle says, love it. Y'all are so funny. Well, we are. We have a good time. When you I posted yesterday, when you love what you get to do, you never work a day in your life. And the truth is that we love what we do. So it's just a lot of fun. It really is. Okay. So, maybe we can find some people that want to, sponsor
I don't know. We'll start looking.
some campers. Sublimation
Well, I'm
campers.
gonna break at this point and go see what else is going on around here and finish the day. But as always, it's been a pleasure to be with you and your folks. And want to thank everyone from Cheryl's group that came to open house. There were a lot. We had a great time, and look forward to getting back together on Thursday. Check out our videos, our live on Friday, because we'll be focused on the
I'll be posting it in the group. I really want people to watch this. I know that Sprite's been working on that, so that's going to be a good one.
All right. Well, thank y'all. Be safe.
Thank you. And let me know, David. Text me and let me know what all those people are. I want to know.
I will. Take care.
Okay. All right. Bye, you guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.